Hello and welcome everyone to this Fallout 76 stream on creative camp building. I am your host, a swift kick in the junk, aka Vault 101 Man Guy, aka Corindabar, aka Professor Swingout. These are all of my usernames, and I should really consolidate them one day, but until then, this is the state I find myself in. For those of you who don't know who I am, I do a lot of what we'll call unusual Fallout 76 camp builds. Now, there are a lot of really great builders in the game, people that have a talent for the architecture, decorating, design, and if you see one of their camps, you're probably like, whoa, that looks amazing. And I want to assure you that mine do not look that good, so if you're looking for a stream on making something that looks amazing, you probably won't find it here. But what I really specialize in, and what I've been doing since I started playing, is making contraptions, mini-games, death traps, and just generally camps that are unique in some way or have a way of interacting with the players that I meet in the game. Now, I know some of you are probably like, but Mr. Multiple Name Guy, some of those were death traps. That's not very nice. And I want to assure you that while they are a little bit evil, people don't actually lose anything. I don't take their junk, and I make sure they can get it back, and we often end up chatting afterwards, taking a tour of the camp. Most people think it's pretty funny, so I want you to know that these builds, they're always done in good humor, and they're always just for a little bit of mutual fun. Though if I'm being honest, I think it's good to add a little bit of mischief to the wasteland. These are the kinds of unexpected encounters that can only be created by other players, and they make for what we'll call interesting and memorable experiences. So what we're going to be doing in the stream is looking at some of the cool and unconventional stuff you can do with the camp system. So this will include demonstrations, tutorials, and hopefully some inspiration for stuff you can do with your own camps. My personal philosophy, and something I hope you'll take away from this, is that the camp is more than a place to keep your stash and your crafting benches, but rather that the camp itself can be an extension of your character. So this means it can be a way that you interact with the game world and also with the other players that you meet. I've seen people do lots of different things like mazes, escape rooms, dunk tanks, boxing rings, you name it. There's a ton of really creative people building really cool stuff out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started, and I'll give you a brief introduction of the thing that we will be building, followed by a demonstration, followed by a tutorial. So if you saw that intro video before the stream started, there was a short clip of something called a meat cannon. This was one of my favorite builds, so I thought this would be a really good one to start with. I'll play a clip, and then we'll do a little tutorial on how to build that. Let's go. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Now we're going to talk about how you can build your very own meat cannon. So we're going to need a few things, starting with perks. You're going to need the home defense perk. You'll need this for the flamethrower trap, unless you have a friend that could build it for you. Contractor, don't need it, just makes it way cheaper. And happy camper, just keep you from starving to death while you build any of these things. Also going to need a couple mines that you can get from the crafting bench, explosive bait, and the frag mines. In order to build those, you need at least one rank of the demolition perk, which you can find under the intelligence category. And if you look in the crafting menu for the tinkerer bench, you'll see it under mines. So you're going to want to craft a few frag mines and as much explosive bait as you can. Now, one of the main ingredients for that is rad stag meat, which is pretty hard to come by, but I find most of mine actually here in the northern part of the map. You might have to server hop a few times, but when you find a server that has a lot of rad stags, usually you'll find a few dozen of them. If you put the butcher's perk on, you'll find groups that you can get 8 to 10 rad stag meat, depending how lucky you are, and it'll give you more than enough to craft some explosive bait. So moving on to the actual build itself, we're going to start with just a few foundation pieces. We're going to put down 4. So we'll put down 2 just hooked up like this, and then we'll put 2 more on the sides. And we're going to take 2 pieces of half wall, we'll put 1 on each side, so just like this. put one on this side, and I'll put one on this side. Then we're going to go to the roof category. We're going to make a roof angled on the inside, and this is the cool part. This is a trick you can use for other things, but we're going to stack a couple stash boxes here, and then we're going to take that flamethrower trap that we talked about earlier, and we're going to face it towards that roof. So once we're able to place it, we'll get out and we'll activate it, and that's actually going to destroy that roof piece. So what that's going to do is going to get it out of the way, and we'll go back to the edit screen, grab a angled roof facing the other way, and we're going to put that on to the other side. So now we're going to have this little inverted triangle V shape, put it down, and then we'll turn the flamethrower trap on again and destroy that piece. So that basically is just going to get those two pieces out of the way and let us put some other stuff on without them interacting with them. So we're going to put the rest of our half walls on, and then we're going to grab some full wall pieces. So we're going to put a doorway on the back, and then we're just going to put regular walls the rest of the way around. And just put those on there. And now for the last part in the back, we're going to put a door. Yeah, and then we'll repair the camp. So that's going to bring those two roof pieces back. We could remove the side foundations and the flamer traps. We don't need those anymore. And we're going to open that door. So when we open it, you'll see we have this little triangle. That's going to be useful for holding our ammunition for our meat cannon. We'll see that shortly. And now we're going to put down 3 stash boxes. These are just the regular blue stash boxes. Let's put them right on top of each other. Doesn't quite stick on there. I have to move that over a little bit. So 3 on top, and then we're going to take that flamethrower that we used earlier. We're going to put that on top. Now what we're trying to do here is we want to angle the flamethrower just right so when we turn it on, it doesn't destroy either of those roof pieces and doesn't destroy the wall on the other side. This takes a little bit of playing with it, so you'll see I turn it on. It does destroy one of the roof pieces. Ideally, we don't want it to destroy either. So you can turn it on, you can go to your camp object after you tried adjusting a little bit, and then repair, and then try again. So this is just trial and error. Eventually you're going to find the right angle where that flame will go between them and not destroy either of them. It will work if it doesn't do that, but it's way better if you can get that just facing perfectly without destroying those roof pieces. Cool, so we're going to move on to the actual inside of it. So we can go ahead and close this door. And on the inside, so this triangular roof, this is going to cause anything we put in here to slide towards the middle, and that's how we're going to make our cannon work. And to give us just a little tighter area, we're going to put some foot lockers. You could put other stash boxes. I like these because they're narrow and they're tall and they kind of fit. But we just want to line the inside and reduce the area that objects can sort of move around inside this structure. So I'll put foot lockers all the way on the inside here. And I'll put some on the other side. So now these don't have to be perfectly lined up. No one's really going to see them the way we're using them. But you know, do whatever you want, the best job you can. And fit one in there. I could probably fit another in this side. I just move this one over, and I'll put another one down. Cool, so now we have a much tighter space, and what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the frag mines that we would have made earlier, and we're just going to test it. So we're going to put it in the middle. You'll see that it kind of slides towards the center. Put it down. And then we're going to test that flamer. So we're going to go out and activate it. And what we're looking for is we want this flamer to detonate that frag mine. So when we turn it on, boom, that's the effect that we're looking for, and this is how we're going to fire ammunition out of our meat cannon. So moving on, we are going to set up a little switch to turn the meat cannon on so you can activate it remotely and see all your meat being fired. We can start with a connector on the side, nothing too fancy. Like I said, I don't do really aesthetically complicated builds, but I'm just going to put a couple connectors on the side and hook them to the flamer trap. And then we're going to need a little power switch. It doesn't matter which switch. I think this one you don't need plans for. I think you start with this one. Let's put that one down. But do be aware that when you put a switch, it's usually in the on position, so once you hook it up, just make sure you turn that switch off, otherwise you're going to have a minor disaster. Just turn it off first, yeah, and then you can hook your generator up. Nice, so now we have a little powered meat cannon ready to fire some stuff, so we should probably decorate it. Now, I'm not much of a decorator. I'm probably going to put something on here. It says meat cannon, and then I don't know what else I'm going to put on here. So you should decorate it to whatever fits your personality, whatever, you know, look inside yourself and see what you want your meat cannon to look like. Mine, I'm just going to put a little lettering on there and skip ahead to a part where I've decorated it. So we'll put on meat cannon. And skip ahead. Yeah, so this is my end meat cannon. I'm sure yours will look better than this, but it's ready to go. So I've got my meat cannon ready, and I've got my explosive bait. So now we're going to load our meat cannon. So all that explosive bait we built earlier, this is going to be the projectile. So if you've ever used this, yeah, I think you use it once for a quest. It's probably one of the few items that we spawn that actually reacts to some of the physics in the game. And we're going to jump inside the meat cannon and load it. Now I lied, we're going to need to put our frag mines first, because this is going to be the quote-unquote the gunpowder that makes this fire. And we're just going to put 2 in, so we'll put 1 on each side. And then we're going to take our explosive bait, just equip it, and just start throwing it in there. Yeah, so just put it in. Don't worry about server performance. You just put as many in as you want, as many as you can make. The more the better. Just keep throwing them and throwing them. And you can kind of see as you throw them that they're loose objects, and they kind of have their own physics, which is what we're going to use to make this cannon work. And oh, we have a loose ham here. That's fine, that's going to happen. Don't worry about it, keep putting your bait in. As many as you want. To your heart's content. Look at all that meat. Perfect. So now that we've loaded our meat cannon, we have our frag mines in there, our explosive bait. All we got to do is flip this switch to detonate it, and then we're going to look for a cannon-like effect of meat. Excellent. And this is what we're looking for. This is how you make a meat cannon. You know, go ahead and make your own. I'd love to see some people building some of these out in the wild. There's other stuff you can do if you get creative. You can do this with Brahmin as well, if you can fit a Brahmin in there. But this is the main idea, and I hope you guys use this as some inspiration for some stuff that you could do, or maybe just something fun you can show to people, or maybe get some friends out and show them that you have your very own meat cannon. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our next tutorial. Welcome back everyone to this Fallout 76 stream. I hope you don't mind that I've slipped into something a little more comfortable so we can talk about creative camp building. In the clips so far, what you've seen are some demonstrations of building outside the box with the camp system. The meat cannon and the Brahmin disco, while very meat themed, I'd like you to think that the actual theme there was physics. These physics are all the things we've witnessed in the game while we play, the way corpses ragdoll when we kill something, to the very frustrating experience of a grenade exploding and then throwing all of our unlooted corpses everywhere and we never find them again. These builds really capitalize on these behaviors, and this is an example of how we can take a camp and have it interact with other objects or behaviors in the game to make it do something that the camp by itself can't do. One step to building more creative camps is just to take note of these behaviors or how certain objects function, and then to think of other ways that we can use them within the camp system. So another example, if we were to take, for instance, what we know about ragdoll physics and incorporate it into the camp, we could create not just something unique, but also turn it into a game. So now our camps can become an interactive player experience. I'm going to show you an example of a game I created called Brahmin Toss. This is based around games like skee ball or beanbag toss, and I'm taking those same ragdoll physics that we saw earlier, and now I'm going to apply them to a game board with rules. So let's take a look. Alrighty, let's build a game of Brahmin Toss. So I'm going to be using the workshop here at Billings Homestead. Reason for that is it's going to have lots of razor grain. So over here by the farmhouse you can find 1 to 200 of these razor grain crops. And also because when you take a workshop it gives you a lot of free resources. So if I'm just building a test build, I usually do it at a workshop. So we're going to start with just a floor piece. Put that down, we'll put a single set of stairs. And we're going to start constructing the first floor. So we're going to make the game board, and you don't have to make it exactly like this. Use this as a guide. I'm going to build 3 full floors wide. Then I'll build a floor forward. And then I'll do 3 across here again. So this is going to be the main platform for the game. And then I'm going to take these half-size floors, and if I can line them up. Here we go. And I'm going to build these 2 out like this. Again, you don't have to build it this way, but if you want it to look like mine at the end, do it this way. I'm going to put another one here, and you'll see why a bit later. And this is going to extend out a bit, but that's fine. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, so 2 here. And just spend all day doing this. There we go. Another one, and one's on the side here. You see these ones are kind of offset. That's going to affect a wall that we're going to put in a bit later. Come on, there we go. And then I'm going to put 2 right here. Alright, So now I'm going to construct the sides of this game board. So I'm going to get some half walls. And I'm just going to build these down both sides. And then I'm going to build a back panel here. So this is going to be 4 full walls tall. If I can get it to stick on. Go all the way across. And I'm going to build them up as high as I can. This obviously is a bit easier if you have the perk that lets you jump higher. I don't know why I can't remember that, but monkey legs, frog legs. Wait, what's it called? And if you can't reach up there, you just build a roof, and we're going to put that 4th level up there. I don't know why I can't remember the name of that perk. I'm going to really hate watching this later. Okay, and we go up 4. And so now we're going to continue the walls on the side here. So we're going to build these 3 tall. If we can get it to snap to those half walls. We want it on the far end one. There we go. And we're just going to build that 3 high. It's a little hard to snap these on there, but they will go eventually. Oh, come on now. Here we go. Now, once we've done that, you can go ahead and I'm going to remove this roof piece. I'm just going to put 2 flat roof pieces just on the side. So what I'm going to make here are little platforms to form like a skee ball board, and then I'm going to put 2 up here. And you'll probably saw from the video, but this is the targets that we're going to use for our Brahmin toss. This is what it looks like so far. And we're going to turn this into a door. So this is a little trick that'll let you remove certain walls. Turn this to a door without removing the support. So I'm going to remove that. Change that back to a wall. And now I'm going to take that floor piece out. And I'm basically just creating places this cow can go. And put an angled roof piece there. So now we see our playing board is taking shape. I'll remove these floor pieces, that's why we put those there. So now we have little pits on the side. And then I'm going to put a half wall there. Now we can put some scoring numbers and stuff like that on there, a little bit of decoration. I'm not going to do that right now, I'll skip ahead to that later just so we don't have to sit through it. But you're free to, of course, decorate it whatever way you want and put some scoring letters and things like that on there. So we're going to go up to the next level. This is the most important part. So this is where the Brahmin Launcher is going to be for Brahmin toss. I'm going to build it out 3 wide. I got this lined up with the platform below. Oh my goodness. Wow, I can't believe I just got that. I've been playing since beta. I just got that achievement. That's crazy. Yeah, wow, and you guys are here for it. It's so special to me. Alright, so moving on, and we're going to build, let's see, what should we do here? We're going to replace this with the wire frame, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the traps, and we're going to grab these spike board traps. So you want to grab the one on the bottom, because this one has a full arc when it springs. That's going to be the best for this. And the reason we use that wireframe floor is just so we can connect the wires. So the connection's on the bottom of the board and it won't work otherwise. So we just need to have that wireframe initially. I'm going to turn this off because it's on by default. And then we're going to hook it up. And now we're going to put down a full-size carpet. This is the rug trick. People have seen this tons of times, I'm sure. And then we're going to place the Brahmin Pen. So this is under the Resources tab. This, I think you can get this plan in White Springs now if you don't have it. Put it down, and that's immediately going to spawn a Brahmin. So what we need to do, unfortunately, is to be able to move this, because once he's chewing on it, you can't move it. We're going to have to kill him. Sorry. And once he's dead, that Brahmin pen is going to fall apart. So there's a little brief delay, but if you wait, that's going to fall to pieces. And then we can move the carpet with the pen on it. We can get a hold of it there. There we go. And we're just going to try to place that as close to the spike board to trap as possible. And this is going to be the setup for our game. So if we repair this, the Brahmin will come back. Now we're going to skip ahead a little bit to where we've decorated and put the scoring information up. And now I'm going to show you an example of playing a game of Brahmin toss. So these are the scores. These are the targets that we want to hit. Again, you don't have to design it this way. This is just how I did it. You're going to repair the Brahmin pen. It's going to spawn the Brahmin, club him, and then turn on your spike board trap. So that's going to fling him. Oh, boy, I was hoping for a 15 there. 5 points. That's not a bad start. You're going to have to turn it off. Now, if you build this in your camp, you can use the camp object to repair all these. Because I'm at the workshop, I have to repair them each manually. Let's try it again. Always milk your Brahmin before you club it. Just get a little extra milk there. It's quite good. So sometimes they'll move back. There's a little strategy because they'll move around. That'll change the angle of the shot. But, oh yeah, there we go. That's 15 points. That's good. That's quite a good shot. So this is the general gist of Brahmin toss. You can kind of make your own rules, you know, if you want to play with friends or something like that. But you can kind of get it. You know, maybe you have 3 Brahmin each or something like that. And what you're really doing is you're just scoring points and you're just sort of adding them up. I'm going to take another shot here because I feel a little bit greedy. I want to take another roll here. Club him. Get another shot in there. Oh, another 15. Oh no. Oh no, it's a Brahmin out of bounds. Brahmin out of bounds. That's unfortunate. I think I got ripped off. That was a pretty good shot. Alright. So if you look at me now, I personally believe the official attire of Brahmin toss is going to be the golf outfit, and that you should use a golf club if you're going to club the Brahmin. Of course, people are going to have their own house rules and may play it a bit differently, but this is my recommendation. Anyway, this is how you build the game of Brahmin toss. I hope to see a few of these out in the wasteland, and I hope this gives you some ideas of stuff you can do with your own Brahmin Launcher. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial on Brahmin toss and how we can use the camp system to make a game that players can play. And I'd like to keep talking about that and a few general rules I think we can use to make a good game. So obviously a game should be winnable. Games often can have a cost or some level of risk. The game should have some kind of reward, though sometimes the reward is just winning. And I think it's good sometimes if the game has a twist or something that players aren't expecting. This can add a lot of humor and fun to the camp. So I want to show an example of this, and this is a camp I built a few months ago called Math Camp. I built it to look like an old schoolhouse, and if you went inside, it had the classroom with all the seats, the lockers, it had the teacher's desk, it even had a dunce chair in the corner, and at the very back of the classroom was a wooden door with a sign that said tutoring room. And if you went through this door, a hidden steel door would close behind you. Now, the room did indeed look like a small tutoring area with schoolroom furniture and a small desk, but on the wall was a message asking you to solve a math problem and instructions to punch that answer into the keypad for the steel door. People did think this was pretty funny, and many thought the game was simple enough. Like, aha, you locked me in a room, I just gotta solve this and get out. But what people weren't expecting was that there was also a series of flamethrowers behind the wall that would soon be turned on. So this is actually a timed game in which people had to solve the problem and punch the code in to escape death. Funnily enough, even though the math problem wasn't that hard, it did become a lot harder when they were being burned alive. So let's take a look. So that was Math Camp, and that's an example of a game that's winnable, has a risk, and has an unexpected twist to surprise the players. Now, unfortunately, there's not enough time left in the stream to fit a tutorial on how to build it, and since it's a bit more complicated than the other two, it'd be too long, but I will try to upload something on my channel, so if you want some guidance on how to build your own, you can go over there and check it out. Now, I hope you guys have been enjoying all the Fallout 76 stream content. I really enjoy putting this together. I love building camps, and I hope I've been able to inspire you to get out there and do something weird and interesting with yours. Since we do have a little bit of time left, I'll leave you with one last build. This was a camp I called Beat the Clock, and the goal of the game was to risk death by jumping from platform to platform over the edge of a cliff until you reach the top, where a vending machine contains several prizes at a cost of 0 caps. As players navigated the course, flamethrowers hidden in the walls would burn away the platform starting at the bottom, so if you weren't quick enough, the platform underneath you could be removed by the flames, but if you're too reckless, you could miss the next platform and fall to your death. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you all in the wasteland.
Mhm.